Limits, BDSM, from Wikipedia, the free encyclopedia. This article does not cite any sources. Please help improve this article by adding citations to reliable sources. Unsourced material may be challenged and removed. August 2013. Learn how and when to remove this template message. In BDSM, limits refer to issues that participants in a play scene or dynamic feel strongly about, usually referring to prohibited activities. Participants typically negotiate an outline of what activities will and will not take place. The participants describe what they desire, do not desire, will and will not tolerate, including the determination of limits. For example, it is common to set a safe word and to establish certain types of play as prohibited. The BDSM usage of the terminology limits derives from the concept of off-limits, the idea of limiting a scene to a specific set of activities, and the limitations in terms of interest as well as physical and emotional tolerance of the participants. Setting limits. Both dominants and submissives can set limits. Limits can be agreed to verbally, or they can be incorporated into a formal contract. Sometimes the participants engage in a formal conversation about limits and boundaries. This is referred to as negotiation. Other couples discuss their likes and dislikes in a similar manner to vanilla relationships. No limits. Some participants choose not to set limits. This is commonly seen in total power exchange dynamics, consensual non-consent, and edge play. Whether or not this type of arrangement is considered safe, sane, and consensual is a matter of some controversy in the BDSM communities. Those favoring the approach pointing that limits are either wishful thoughts, which can never be reliably enforced, or sometimes just deceptions in order to find acceptance by society. Types of limits. The terminology varies slightly across different local communities and internet forums. However, there are general usages recognized across most BDSM populations. Hard limit. A hard limit is something that must not be done. Violating a hard limit is often considered a just cause for ending a scene or even a relationship. Examples include, "Scat is a hard limit for me," or "I have a back injury, so striking on the back is a hard limit." Soft limit. A soft limit is something that a person hesitates about or places strict conditions on, but for which they may still give informed consent. An action can be prohibited except under specific circumstances or an area of discomfort that someone wishes to avoid. Soft limits can also include actions that require a cautious approach or, while somewhat appealing, still generate an uncomfortable amount of apprehension in one or more partners. Requirement limit. A requirement limit or must limit is something without which one or more partners will not participate in the scene. Examples include, "Lots of hair pulling is a must limit for me," or "If you're going to flog me, I need lots of aftercare." Time limit. A time limit is a set time period for which an activity or temporary relationship takes place. This is most common for scenes and casual play. Some couples practice time limitations for relationships. They can be used to set time limits on phases of relationships, such as training or consideration. Trinity limit. In Kingdom Hearts, Trinity limit is a special ability. Selecting Trinity from the last command box causes two red orbs to emerge from Donald and Goofy. The orbs will come to Sora's Keyblade. Sora then executes a few powerful flips and leaps, then does a back somersault, planting his Keyblade into the ground, summoning a large energy wave crushing all enemies down within the area. The more MP Sora has during the executing period, the more powerful the finishing attack becomes. It costs 5 AP to equip, 1 AP in Kingdom Hearts Final Mix, and it uses all of Sora's, Donald's, and Goofy's MP, requiring at least 3 MP to activate.